So imagine if you're in an ANKI deck or a flashcard deck and you hear a word and they say, let's just say the word nam. Imagine if the flashcard had a question, what tone is this? Nam. And you said 4/5. Or you might say 3/4. Some people may say 4/3. And this is fully interactive. So supposing the word was nam and you actually wrote 3/4, that's not necessarily wrong. If you wrote 3/5, that's not necessarily wrong. So a good language app will then be able to analyze, well, this guy is actually hearing what the throat's doing, hearing it's raising, so that could be right. It doesn't necessarily need to be exactly a 4/5 tone. Flashcards, some people love them, some people hate them. Some language lovers say that they're the only way to go. Some language learners say that they never use flashcards. I'm going to share with you my take on flashcards in this clip, and I'll share with you why now I don't use ANKI, but I'll show you why, because ANKI is what it is. It spurred me to do something different. Now, I know they say you shouldn't go and recreate the wheel, but I think we've hit a period in technology where recreating the wheel is exactly what needed to be done, and it's what I did. So I hope you enjoy. Now, if you log into ANKI and you have a look at the decks here, and there's some really great decks. Now, I'm going to scroll down. You can see all of these decks here, and it will give the ratings and when they were modified, notes, audio, and images. All these things that look on the surface great, but watch what happens if I click into one of these and it gives you the description, the author, and you know, they look beautiful. They've got this up here. They could have different fields down here. But the way that ANKI decks work are that you have these HTML templates, and then you've got fields that go into them. So they've got a dark and a light theme. And actually the tech here is pretty old. And so this shows you, what kind of fields are within each of these cards. And they work on a space repetition algorithm that you go through. But the thing that is the deal breaker to me is that, one, this data, you can't really do a lot with it. It's set in these HTML templates. And worst of all, have a look at this. This egg rolls ANKI deck here. So it says 简体繁体中文. So it has the simplified and the traditional characters is 161 meg per deck. Those file sizes are huge, and it really limits what you can do with it. So I love data. I love being nimble and agile with data and what I'm using, and there had to be a better solution. And so I'll show you what I built, because I built it for everybody, and I really think this is a game changer. Okay, so here we are at my site, crackinglanguage.com, and I've logged in and I'm in the arena. And so I'm just going to start a new session here. And as you can see, it's glowing blue here. It means I'm voice enabled, and green, it means I'm AI enabled. I've started a new session, and this is my toolbox. So many people know that I've built out some of these really cool language learning tools. So for example, you're learning Thai, and I've built this really cool tool in here. So if you type in Thai, วันนี้จะไปไหนหรอ? Okay, you can see here it's dropped in all of the tone pitch contours. วันนี้จะไปไหนหรอ? And if you are AI enabled, when you click that button there, it's going out, it's building these data blocks that fit in with that. And you can see here, it's injected the text in there. Now, there's a reason I built these, and you can even hear the sound if you want.
วันนี้จะไปไหนหรอ?
Okay, so I'll play it again.
วันนี้จะไปไหนหรอ?
วันนี้จะไปไหนหรอ? And you can even click word by word.
วันนี้จะไปไหนหรอ?
So I found that this is really useful for people when they're learning, because they get to see the tone pitch contours. You don't have to limit it to Thai. If you're learning Northern Thai, then the tones change and it will shift those around for you. So this is a super powerful tool. Imagine if, as you're doing, say, your ANKI decks or your flashcard decks, that this could actually be part of the flashcard experience. So you get it, and you do want to test it. Do I know the tone pitch contours? And bang, you flip it over. Oh, that's what it is. Right now, that's a really difficult thing to do in ANKI. You can't get things dynamically updating like this. It just doesn't work. There's some way of putting some JavaScript in there, but nothing like this. I'll give you another example. Okay, so I've just added this tone editor. By the way, when you're learning, you've got this content zone and your toolbox zone. So I figure, when you're learning, you've normally got, say, dictionaries and reference books to your right, and you're learning here. And so I've tried to emulate that, giving you a toolbox. And you can put your toolbox, if you want, into full screen mode. Or you can put your learning zone into full screen mode, or use them both. If you're on mobile, you've got a little toggle button. But here's the same. So imagine if you're in an ANKI deck or a flashcard deck and you hear a word and they say, let's just say the word nam, and I will write the syllable here in Roman script for you. So nam. Imagine if the flashcard had a question, what tone is this? Nam. And you said 4/5. Or you might say 3/4. Some people may say 4/3. And this is fully interactive. Okay, and with every keystroke, it's broadcasting a little message and things can communicate with you. So supposing the word was nam and you actually wrote 3/4. That's not necessarily wrong. If you wrote 3/5, that's not necessarily wrong. So a good language app will then be able to analyze, well, this guy is actually hearing what the throat's doing, hearing it's raising, so that could be right. It doesn't necessarily need to be exactly a 4/5 tone. So I wanted to build a set of tools which really related to real life, not just matched algorithms that tech companies needed to find some way of matching. And so I built these tools out, but I thought, how do I integrate these into the learning experience, into flashcards and all of these other things to be part of the learning experience? There are other really cool tools that I've put in here. So, you can see these, and if I want to put, say, the character lung for dragon. So I'm going to type the word lung in here, and I'll actually put the Genti and the Fanti version. So let me just type here lung and then lung. And if I close this up, bang, you've got the stroke order of lung. And not only do you see it in there, but you can actually practice writing it along with it as well. Isn't that cool? Now imagine if once you've learnt the character in Anki without having to have a textbook next to you or an exercise book next to you, you could actually do it within the card. And it could even give you feedback on how you're writing the script, if you're getting the stroke order right or not, or you could turn those off. You can do it to your heart's content. Those for me would be powerful flashcards. And so that's what I built for you. So first of all, what I want to do is give you a demonstration on how these work. So many of you know by now my slash commands in here. I'm going to do a lesson from content. Now, this is pretty cool. I've got Thai, Central, Isan, Northern, Southern. You can actually do full lessons in these. Chinese, Mandarin, Cantonese, Southern Mandarin, Taiwanese, Hokkien, Singapore, Hokkien, Penang, and Teochew. You can do Lao from Bakse, which is the area that speaks the same version of Lao that you get in Isan, like Ubon in Thailand. That's Bakse Lao, Luang Prabang Lao, or Standard Lao. You've got Vietnamese, Northern, Central, Southern. You got Malay, and I've got Standard Kelantan. That's because in Southern Thailand, they speak the Kelantan version, and Jawi, so that's using the actual Jawi script. In Southern Thailand, Japanese, I've got Kansai Ben and Standard, and I've even got Burmese for you. Okay, so let's start with Thai, because many learners in my channel are Thai learners. And I'm going to say, write me a dialogue of 30-something-year-old male ordering McDonald's at a drive-through. Okay, we have some of those in Bangkok. And so what I'm doing, I'm submitting that. That's going out, that's going through all of my teaching material, my books, my videos, everything I've ever done. It's building out structures and seed sentences. It's going out and getting its general knowledge about Thai and dialogues and colloquial language for the demographic that I gave it. It's looking at everything that I would teach about that kind of language, about particles, about sentence structures. If you've ever read my book, the Kun Long Pai Ma Hai Rap, all of those things, the words, the direction words, and it's putting it together in a compact lesson with vocabulary and linking to the key topics that I think are important. And look at this. Now, this is built out this dialogue. And so if you have audio enabled, you could play all or you could play one by one. So this says Panakngan is the staff worker. Hello, welcome to McDonald's. You can place your order. Now let's listen to it.
พนักงานสวัสดีค่ะยินดีต้อนรับสู่แมคโดนัลด์ค่ะรับออเดอร์ได้เลยค่ะ
Okay, so that's pretty good. That's pretty much what they'd say. And this is real colloquial. I've written thousands and thousands of lines of code building agents to make sure that pretty good language, natural language is done. And you can see here, I have the transliteration. Now, if you can actually control what shows in here, but these aren't the flashcards yet. So you could have, say, I've got the translation down here, and I've got up top the Ruby, the transliteration. So if you want to turn that to IPA, bang, you can actually switch to IPA, which is pretty cool. Okay, and so you've got the dialogue there, you've got the lessons, you've got a whole vocabulary set here, but this is still not the flashcards. Now, as you're going through and you're learning the words, you might want to learn them through here, but eventually you're going to want to drill yourself and go over them. And so that's where I come up to here. So you could practice handwriting, Thai tone chart. So these are, again, calling. So you want to see the Thai tones. Okay, that's, your high tone, your low rising, high falling. But then I want to see flashcards. So if you click on flashcards, and what it's done here is instantly, it has built out this flashcard deck for me based on not only all of the sentences that we did, but we have vocab as well. So I can just click through the vocab if I want, or the phrases, or the whole thing. So this in itself is pretty cool. Now, this is the active learning zone. If I want to keep coming back to this flashcard deck, look at this. Add this to my toolbox. And bang, it's over here in my toolbox. And so now jumping over here, you can actually then focus in and start reading it. So if you keep learning, then in this side, you're not going to lose your flashcards over here. Okay, so then I can actually align this to make sure I know my tones here. Now, these are these rich tools I'm talking about. ANKI just can't do this. You can't have these dynamic tools clicking through and doing all of this in a normal ANKI deck. And so this week, I've got it all wired up. I'm just going to flick the switch. So you will actually get your spaced repetition. But right now, you can do shuffle. Okay, and so that's sort of shuffled it around, and it will show you a combination of words. Yindi ton lap. So have a look at
ยิน
this.
ดีต้อนรับ
All right.
ยินดีต้อนรับ
Yindi ton lap. And you want to see the answer? Welcome. Yindi ton lap. Welcome. That's pretty cool. They look pretty plain though. They're just text mixed, and then you've got these different, what I call streams. So it gets better. Watch this. Yindi ton lap. Imagine now if I wanted to actually inject this tool that we saw first into here. Well, you can actually do that. Have a look at this. So if I go into edit the card, now I'm doing it manually here, but I have this streamline. So on the front of the card, I want to add a tool. What tool do I want? Thai sentence editor. Okay, now I have code that will put it in there, but I'm going to manually add it for the sake of this demonstration. Yindi ton rap. And I want to put that at the top of the card. Okay, I'll take that out so it auto hides it. And let me just click save there. You can even tell what voice you want, and bang, look at that. Right now I have, this is that same card I had. So look, I can flip it over, but this tool has been added. I can add tools to the front. I can add tools to the back. I can add anything that I have built out that is within my tool set. And actually I've built a third-party tool, third-party marketplace. So in the future, third-party people can build their own tools and inject them in here and use them live with live AI data, manual data, spreadsheet data, ANKI deck data, whatever data you want, inject them into that. And you can pretty much put any tool that you see in here into the card. It gets better. Let me just delete some of these tools out. Now, you don't have to delete them. And by the way, so as you're learning, everything here, the state of your toolbox, the state of your lesson, it will be continuously saving, or you can manually save that, and your learning progress is being saved, both in your flashcard progress, in your lesson learning progress, what you've been learning throughout the lessons and all of your lessons. My system will constantly know where you are with your learning, what you want to achieve, and will be able to guide you towards that with the right stuff as it's building the lessons out for you. Now, many of you may have seen one of my first tools, and actually the original consonant compass that I did years ago. You would remember here. Now, if I put this into the full screen mode, you'll see it in all its glory. Okay, so you can see this here. I've got my animated mouth. Okay, and so each one of these things here is a tool. The mouth with the animation, the sketch pad where you can draw in here. Every single thing that you see in here as a tool, even this panel here with the letters in, I click on here, high class, mid class, low class. This panel of letters here showing the classes, the ability to, I'll just hide these tools, the ability to swap. So I've gone from Thai into Burmese. And so now you'll see it's going to click over into Burmese, and I can see my Burmese letters. Every one of these are now manipulatable. You can start to bring them into your flashcards and your learning experience, wire the data together, and start really driving your learning and making sure that this stuff sticks. So I'll show you something pretty cool that I built out just with all of this data here. So right now, this is totally free for anybody to use. You can just come to crackinglanguage.com/consonant deck and look at this. All of those scripts that are in my compass, you can actually call them out. And so you want Balinese, gives it a few seconds to load. You got Balinese. Let's go to Thai, and you got Thai. Now, again, you've got the front and back, but you would notice here now, I've added my tools myself. So what is this? And so my lovely wife has actually many years ago recorded these sounds. So you could click it there and you get ko kai, as it's saying, but you want to test yourself. Right now, you're not getting any of the information about it. If you want your AI voice, if this is blue here and enabled, okay, so you can hear the AI say it if you want, or my recording. So this again goes to show you the power of my system. You can actually use your own recordings, but they're not all stored within the card, so it doesn't bulk up that card. You're not getting like hundreds of megabyte card files or deck files. It's all streamlined in here. And then let's show the answer. Look at that. And so not only are you learning about that, you're getting the phonetic, you're getting all of the different information, the initial, the final version of it. You want to hear it again? It's mid-class. It tells you now, these are all pulled from my books and my writings on each letter. So they're all structured beautifully. And within the flashcard itself, whether you're on mobile or a desktop, you can actually practice writing. And if I wanted, I could actually wire this up. And so you could do a version where maybe you wanted to practice here and you wanted another version to see whether or not you're doing the stroke order properly. Now, stroke order in Thai, you start from the loop and go around. If it's in Chinese, there's a specific stroke order. But I could even test whether your stroke order is correct within the flashcard, and that all goes to your learning experience. This just can't be really done that easily, if not at all, in Anki. And then we want to go to the next letter, Kho Kai. Let's listen to it.
Kho Kai.
Show the answer. And so what you can do is come into your lesson here, and it's a slash command. So I can just say flashcard, flashcard deck, and choose what consonants. And so supposing I want my Thai consonants, and I'll submit. Bang. And I instantly now down here have my flashcards. I want to add my Thai flashcards to my toolbox. Not a problem. You'll see it jump up here. Watch 1, 2, 3. I've got my flashcards here. They're all there. I want to shuffle them. Look at that. And if I go through, you can just test yourself at random different letters. What's that one? I think it's Yo Yak. Am I right?
Yo Yak.
Yes, I'm right. Now let's look at about Yo Yak. What can it tell me about Yo Yak? Let me practice writing. I've just chosen these as templates for learning letters, but you can actually do whatever you want. Now, right now, this isn't one of my personal decks as a personal learner. This is just an auto-generated deck. So what I can do is now I want to say save or merge deck, consonants tie, hit confirm. And so what this is going to do is put all the cards together, and it's going to build my very own deck and save it within my own personal learning experience. It uploaded 44 cards under me. And so if I close that now and I come here to flashcards, now you can click here, or it's just /flashcards, you'll see my decks coming out, and look at that. That deck came out, and I would just say this is the auto-generated consonant deck for Thai. You don't have to put a thing in there, but I put it in there, save. And so now I have my new deck here, and I can click, and I've got my consonant deck. Now, this week you'll get your space repetition implemented. So it will actually, if you come into this deck each day, it will give you the cards that you need and the lesson that you need to internalize whatever the data is. If you're learning consonants or words or phrases or sentences, whatever it is, you can do that. Now, I've put in here also that you can merge decks. So for the time being, I just want to shuffle these and learn them. You can sit there for like 15 minutes and start going over, trying your recall, learning about the different letters. And I highly recommend that you use this in conjunction with my consonant compass. So as you're learning, go back here and
กอ
just
ไก่
get used to the pattern here. You could add one of these compasses even in a card if you wanted, but start getting used to it and then practice your writing. But this, even though it's a digital thing, it's getting into your muscles. And for me, that's what's really important. It's just not this passive visual thing that maybe you're doing with flashcards. These are fully interactive, stimulating your auditory, visual, sensual, kinetic actions as you're learning. And these are basically everything that I've ever wanted in flashcards. Now, supposing I wanted to add, I don't know, kokai is a picture of a chicken as a cue. I'm just going to go here and type kokai and see what kind of pictures I get. And so supposing you saw that picture and you wanted it, so I could actually go and get that image address. I come back to my card here, I hit edit. Now, there are two places where you can put media. I can drop media in here and just drop the URL, bang, I've got it. And that saves it out. And so you can see up here, it's saving. Once it's saved back to your deck, I can close it and bang, I've got my gokai, and I flip it over. I've got my chicken. So you can add media in that way. Another way that you can add media though is because I actually have, I'll cut that there, a tool. And so while I've got this on top, a consonant card, maybe I want to have a more customized image or a video. I can put a video clip in there. So I'm going to add also an image tool. And so I click on there. And so I come down to my image tool. I want the image on the bottom now. So if you picture your card, you've got your kokai sort of image there where you click on it, and down the bottom, I want this image. I'm going to put my chicken image, and I'll say image of a chicken. Bang, I got my image of a chicken. And so this is why I don't use Anki. Anki is clunky. Sorry about the pun, but it's true. Anki are these huge, bloated, kind of old tech now. And there are so many things that we can do now with AI and with data and these kinds of things that are streamlined that Anki just doesn't have the tech to be able to do. And so Anki has served its purpose over the years, but I think what I've built out now, it's enabled us to scale. It makes data modular. We can hook the data into everything and really drive our learning and plug it into AI. And this is just super, super powerful. Now, one last thing I want to show you, I'll just click back here. There are actually many things, but you can add your own deck. So supposing I want to add a deck, and what will I put in here? I'll put in Chinese vocab test. Okay. Now, this language here is key. If I put ZH, that's standard Chinese, I can put Cantonese, I can put whatever, and this is going to drive what voices are the auto voices that are pulled from Google Voice. Okay, so whatever language you're learning, now you can override them in each card, but I'm putting this as a general deck thing. You can make visibility private. unlisted, group, or public. So I'm building this out so you can use them in classes or even trade decks, just like Anki. I've got it as private at the moment. And I'll just say this is a test deck for showing Chinese. And I can put my tags. So I'll say Mandarin, Chinese, kanji. Okay. And so I have my deck here. Have a look at this. If I open my deck up, so now this is added. You can add a card bit by bit. I'll do another clip really going into streams about what streams are, because you can add streams and basically they're the heart of what these cards are. But what I want to do here is do a bulk import, and I'll just show you this quickly and I'll come back and do more detailed tutorial on how to do this in the future. But copy CSV template. So what I've built for you is that's now copied to the clipboard, this data here. So this is sample data for you of how to make a card. Okay, so these are the fields. So language, ZH, visibility, private, open. Okay, so you can put notes in there. This is just a sample card. Now, what are the streams that I want? Right now, it was set to Indonesian originally. Let's put this. I want ZH traditional. Okay, so we want the kanji traditional. I want to insert another column, and I'll just copy that, and I want ZH simplified. Simplified. And then here I want to get IPA. So stream IPA, but I will also add another column to the right, and I will call this stream ZH pinyin. Okay, so right now I've got traditional, simplified, pinyin, IPA, translation into English. I don't need images, media captions. We don't need these for the moment, okay? Let's just see how that works. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select all of that, and I'll go to ChatGPT and I'll just say, this is a template for my Chinese flashcards. Analyze the structure and build out rows for the top 20 key sentences I'll need when visiting Shanghai next week. I'm an intermediate speaker. Supposing that were you, put it in there, and bang, look at this. What it's done is gone out and generated with my data structure, because I've actually built the data structure in a way that any LLM should be able to analyze well. And so I just copy that and I come back to my spreadsheet, and I'm just going to paste that in here. Now I'm going to grab all of that and I jump back into my flashcard. Watch this as I paste it in. Bang. I have all of these cards built out perfectly. Now, if you want, you can actually map which streams. So for the main one, what do I want? I want my traditional. Okay, it's going to choose that. You can say leave unmapped, what direction, it's auto choose. For the back, what do I want the main thing to be? I want it to be the translation. Okay, and direction is auto. So they're the main ones you need, and then you can fix it up after that. But watch this, apply. And so now if I say import to deck, look at that. Ni hao. Now it's done very good IPA. And I've got it there. Greeting. Yeah, hello. Zaijian. Farewell. Goodbye. Now they're pretty crappy translations because I didn't give it any more instructions, but you have an instant deck of flashcards. Not only that, I could have added my tool in to give you the stroke order and practice. Doesn't matter, but this is the power of this system that frankly you just can't do in Anki. 多少钱? Now, supposing you can see here, these are the traditional characters I wanted to change, and I wanted to actually add the simplified characters in because they're in my data streams. Have a look at this. So I want to include simplified on the front and traditional, but no IPA. Okay. But on the back, I want to have the translation. Oh, I've already got the translation here, and I want to get the pinyin on the back as well, and basically all of them. Okay, so you can put your tags or whatever, and now I want to save that. And so now instantly you'll see as it saves, look at this. So now I have my simplified and traditional here. So 我有点菜. Okay, and these are the simplified, these are the traditional. And if I click here, you've got all of those. This is powerful. I don't know any system right now that allows you to do this, incorporate with other tools and inject it and link all the data together. This right now is totally free for anybody to use. If you come in, all you have to do is just come in and sign in, and you can use all of this. You can build your own decks out. You can import your existing ANKI decks. Now, you're not going to be able to embed that media there, but if you've got your media in external links, you can add your media in here. But even better, have a look at this. If I come and click on this,
我要点菜.
我要点菜, you can actually put it there. Now, if you come in here, you can actually tell it which voice you want as well. So it uses a default voice, but you can say which voice from Google Voices. So you can use your premium voices, male, female, whatever you want. You can be the ones driving these cards, not the cards driving you and not the tech driving you. So that's just a little sneak peek. Well, a big sneak peek, but there's actually a ton more. But these clips, I think I'm going to have to break them down bit by bit. But welcome to my flashcard system, incorporated with the overall arena experience. And next, I'll be showing you actually how AI then drives all of these things together to meet you where you are with what you know and take you to a learning outcome. I hope that you'll support me. Click like, subscribe. Right now, the only thing, if you want to support me financially, you can come in and subscribe to the Thai bundle. So that's $10 a month at jacademy.com. I'll be wiring this up in the coming months, but it'll be about $10 a month for all the functionality of every language that's available. I'm adding more and more languages by the week. Right now, we focus on Asian languages, but soon I'll be adding Slavic languages, Latin, Germanic languages, you name it. Taiwanese languages, getting ready for the Polyglot Conference in November. If you can go to Taiwan in November, I'd love to see you there. Don't forget to come into the Discord group. I'm Stuart J. Raj. I'll see you on the other side.